John, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Wonderful. So for guests and visitors, my name is Steve Fairley, Club President. I'd like to welcome you all to the 17th meeting of the 47th year of the Dublin Worthington Rotary Club. Today's invocation and pledge of allegiance will be offered by the one and only Frank Dunbar.
Our Father, to you we pray. Help us to listen that we might hear. Help us to look that we might see. Help us to learn that we might know. To know that with strength we can do for others that which they are unable to do for themselves. And for that strength, we ask you to bless these Rotarians in our hybrid COVID meeting. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you very much, Frank.
You are welcome.
Teresa, would you mind introducing any visiting Rotarians or guests if we have any?
I don't know that we have any visitors or guests on the procedure that will be introduced later.
Fantastic. Our program today will be introduced later by Katie McCartney, but first we have Sergeant Mike Moulton. Do I have the Sergeant? What do you do? Do we find a sergeant for not showing up to be the sergeant?
Yes.
Yeah.
$50 maximum fine.
Yeah. $2 for everybody in attendance today.
Yeah.
He said he was coming.
Good. Alan is volunteering to help us out today.
Okay, so first order of business is rotary pins. I even so if you have a rotary pin, by all means. Oh, who's going to collect your money? This'll do it. If you don't have a rotary pin on, even you people in Zoom land can wear rotary pins. You should sign up to donate $1 as well. So, and if you didn't pick up your name badge on the way in, that would be a reasonable $1 as well. Who got the email this week about poinsettias? And who put in their order?
I'm working on it.
Okay, if you didn't put in your order, we got to work fast in this organization. That's another reason I think to throw in a buck. And then let's see, finally, what else should we do? Who was on vacation this month? Last month, rather, excuse me. I know we're running out of money, right? Okay, who went on vacation somewhere in the month of October? The sailor. And or if you're going in the month of November, I think those are great months to be in this area. Those are great months to be in Central Ohio, both October and November. Therefore, if you're taking advantage of that opportunity to leave, I think you should throw in one. Okay. And finally, if you walked into this meeting late, it's another reason to throw in $1. And with that, I will let that go. Any happy dollars? Alan.
I want to put in a happy $1 for living in my new environment where I watch the other hired hands do the leaves.
All right. Who else? Alan is happy with the hired hands doing the leaves. John.
I'm happy because Jennifer Best got reelected to the school board. And
I'm happy it's over with.
And you got to know that Jennifer has already done 20 years of service. So by the end of this new term, she will have served 24 years. That's got to be a record. I was thinking for the past 50 years or more, that's got to be a record.
I think so.
Closely related to this, I have a relief dollar that Jennifer was the only one who escaped the curse of my vote. All the other local candidates I voted for lost.
All right. Anybody else in Zoom land with a happy $1? Rachel.
Oh, yeah. So more election news. Super happy that we're going to have a majority of women on city council. So 3 women got voted in last night. We'll do 4. And then we voted in for alcohol at the new Chipolas and House Wine on Sunday. So that was exciting.
Nice. Seems like 3 women on council should be $3, not just one. I don't know, just say.
Sure, why not?
I can't think of any reason. Who else? Anybody here? Katie. Kathy,
Oh, so
sorry.
Kathy, Katie, they'll both do it.
You said both.
I'm gonna give $1 just because you guys are allowing me to come in today to speak to you.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Doing the $10 because my son's marching band, they placed 3rd overall, in their division, 3rd in their division. And then they placed 22nd overall a couple Saturdays ago out of 64 marching band teams. They missed going to the finals by 8 spots. The first 14 went. So I'm happy because they didn't go to the finals because I was at home at 4 a.m. Instead, I got home at a reasonable hour of 9 p.m. that day. I'm also, that's also dollars for an announcement. My son's marching band is having a mattress sale this weekend at the Worthington Kilbourne High School. So if you're in the market for a mattress, pillowcases, what else do they sell? Sheets, all that wonderful jazz. They will be having that this weekend on the 7th from like 10 to 4. And if you don't need mattresses, come see me because we're also collecting more money just by 99 pledges. So.
Awesome.
Thank
And that's what you get, by the way, for $10. Kathy. You
Yeah.
get to talk a little extra. Just saying. George.
If anybody, I had a privilege of working the polls yesterday. If anybody thinks you can get away with anything, I guarantee you can.
All right, is that $1?
Not in Ohio.
Is that a happy dollar?
Yeah.
Oh, good, just checking. Last call for happy dollars. And last call for fines if you haven't reached your $2 and you didn't buy any raffle tickets or haven't been given raffle tickets, then please throw a buck in there. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Ellen.
Thank you, Alan. We are privileged to be able to induct another member today. Dave Brown, if you would come on up. On behalf of the Dublin Worthington Rotary Club, it is my privilege to induct a new member today. Dave, you are beginning a great adventure in leadership, friendship, and service to your community and your fellow man. You have been invited to membership by your sponsor, Alan Grossman, and the Dublin Worthington Rotary Club has accepted you as a person of good character, high ethical standards, and a person who has the heart of service and will represent your business classification as a leader in the community. We encourage you to learn all you can about Rotary and to share your own professional and personal skills by actively participating in club activities, including attending weekly meetings, social events, and service projects. Furthermore, you will be provided with many opportunities to serve others through club service, vocational service, community service, new generation service, and international service, known as our avenues of service. I know, I kind of switched you guys up.
Sorry. That was a softball, but it didn't.
I know.
I thought they were the streets of service.
You gotta go back to Rotary School. Our club is known for great work in the Worthington and Dublin communities and in the Dominican Republic and Mongolia. And we welcome you in helping us change lives. While you have been invited to join a worldwide organization dedicated to the ideal of service, it will be through your own actions that you become a Rotarian. I'm proud to be a Rotarian, and it is my pleasure to provide you with a pin by which your fellow Rotarians and the community at large will recognize you as a Rotarian. And then we ask that you wear it proudly. Your sponsor will now pin on the Rotary emblem and give you your red name badge, red badge. Yes. Yes. I also have a challenge for you. It is for you to share the invitation that was given to you by your sponsor and to invite another person of your same qualities of character, reputation, and commitment to join our club within the next year. The honor of becoming a Rotarian is only surpassed by sponsoring a new member. Do you accept this challenge?
I accept.
Thank you. I also have a challenge for our members. Developing strong relationships among members is one of the keys to the success of our club over the past 47 years. Members, do you commit yourselves to do your part in making Dave feel welcome and to assist him in getting engaged in the club?
We all, yes, sir.
Thank you. With that, I declare Dave Brown duly inducted into our Dublin Worthington Rotary Club.
We'll sign you up on a different day.
All right. Now it's time for announcements. Does anybody have any? Mr. Jim Miller, I know you have one.
I'll just make it from here.
Okay.
Our poinsettia sale is on, as you all are aware, or should be aware, because we just sent out an email. And there is a form there that you can use personally to sell to individuals. It's been emailed. I've got copies here. Getting it off the email was a problem. And then we ask you, once you make a sale, to get on the link so that you can enter the exact amount. We've got off to a good start. And we presently have a tie between Mike Moulton. I thought I saw, yeah, Mike.
Yeah, he's stuck in.
And Al Grossman. So
He snuck out.
he's out there.
What's the
Yeah.
number at?
They're at $200. So that's a good start. Alan, I know Alan told me he's got more to go. So the competition is on. Those are numbers that some of you I know could help exceed. And we're hoping for 500 points total, at least, and a stretch goal of 600. Again, get on, once you make a sale, get on the link and put in what those are specifically on the link that I sent out. I will be sending the link out every week to remind you to update your sale. So that's how we assure, rather than having you have to fill out a form every week here, just update the form on the file. If you have any problems with it, just give me a call and we can figure it out.
Thank you, Jim.
Please do.
Any other announcements? Every time I get up here and ask for announcements, I feel like I'm forgetting announcements. Anybody online have announcements? Okay, we're gonna keep this train moving.
Do you have an announcement about Friday, Steve?
Sure. About strategic planning? Yeah, just FYI, the strategic planning committee has been meeting and working behind the scenes to kind of keep the strategic plan going. And we are meeting, I think this Friday, 8:30 a.m., we may move it based on recent developments, but everybody should know that strategic plan is continuing to be worked on. All right, I guess now it's time for our program. So
You missed
yeah,
it.
like we've already fined you $50 because you missed the sergeant.
Pay on your way out.
Down the way out.
Yeah. Hey,
What do you
please.
Can you guys hear me? That's good.
Good
Okay,
enough.
good enough. I met Kathy a couple weeks ago. She was working with our Interact group with at Worthington Kilbourne. And I was just struck by her wholeheartedness and how she was just such a great person to be around. And I wanted her to come and speak today on her I Support the Girls charity. I guess that's the charity, right? Sure.
501c3.
Okay. But I really didn't have a bio for her, but I did some Googling.
So I'm going to read a couple articles that is about Kathy. One is from NBC4. Kathy was Central Ohio's Remarkable Woman of 2020. Kathy Jackson knows how to hit the mark. She's humble and blessed, and she doesn't mind jumping in to do some of the heavy lifting to make sure she's making a difference in someone else's life. Jackson says the work she does every week by going to shelters, food pantries, and helping provide clothing and other items to those in need. Well, it might just be stuff to some, but this gives her life. I think we all have a gift that we all share, just sometimes we don't know where to share, Jackson offers. Kathy Jackson isn't a part of a group, not for profit or some other organization. She says she just likes helping others, going where the need is or donation is most. She's like our angel. She brings in lots of food, clothes, diapers, everything, gushes a volunteer who knows Jackson. Jackson is most proud of her of the other work she does. She collects pads and tampons and hands them out to homeless women and girls. She has so much stuff she rents out storage space. It's packed with everything, even bras. She's given away thousands, all because she talks to people, and when they don't know where to take those items, they improvise. Jackson shares the story about another woman. She has lost weight, and her husband said, "You need to get some new bras." So she went to Soma and asked the question, "What do I do with good bras?" And the lady said, "Homeless people need bras." She says it's what she's supposed to do, her motto. You're never too busy to do the things that really matter. Jackson says, "This makes me happy. My husband and my kids sometimes think I'm crazy." I'm sure they do, but they know that this makes my heart go. And every day I get up, I know that my day is probably better than someone else's. And if I can get them this, maybe I can make their day better too. Now, Kathy has also been honored with, she led the 4th of July parade in Dublin, and they did a little bio on her. Basically, Kathy and her husband, Steve, have lived in Dublin for 33 years. They have 4 daughters, Megan, Kayla, and Anna, and Molly, who all attend Dublin schools and continue to work and live in Dublin. Kathy received 6 nominations for her tireless work benefiting Dublin City School students. As a PTO leader for many years, numerous service projects, Cafe Thrift, Support the Challenge Day at Dublin Scioto High School. Across Central Ohio, she's developed a local I Support the Girls program, which she's going to talk about today, and established the Reeb Avenue Closet, providing affordable clothing to those who otherwise could not afford to purchase clothing. Kathy continuously supports the St. Stephen's Community House, Holy Family Soup Kitchen, Open Shelter, Southside Learning Center, Help My Neighbor Food Bank, YMCA, YWCA of Central Ohio, and the City of Columbus Moms to Be program. She brings basic human kindness to everyone, shares Kathy Hartner in her nomination. Kathy Jackson is a consummate servant leader, wrote Reverend Steve Norden in his nomination. Kathy's garage and basement are usually filled to the brim with items she has collected to donate across the community. Mentioned Susan Clark in her nomination. So she was a Grand Marshal, honors bestowed annually upon an individual or couple who has made significant contributions to the city of Dublin. I want you all to give a nice Rotary welcome to Miss Kathy Jackson.
So what's happens? Can everybody on Zoom see the PowerPoint? Somebody let me know.
Maybe they can't hear you.
Yeah, Bonnie's shaking her head.
We can see it.
Okay, great, thanks. Just hit left and right.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I absolutely did not like any of that because I love flying under the radar.
That's why it was hard to find a bio on her.
Well, yeah, I mean, my friends laugh, they go into my storage unit and they're like, you have a box and it's got all these awards. And I go, well, what I would really like is for someone to buy those awards from me and give me the cash so I could go do something else with it. So that's just me. Like I said, I've flown under the radar for quite a bit, but I really thank you all for allowing me to come today to talk to you. I always feel a little odd. I was telling Alan, here I'm talking to people that do exactly what I do. So what am I going to share with you? But I hope there's a takeaway from you that either it encourages you to continue to do what you're doing, or maybe I will share a tidbit of some information somewhere in our city of something that maybe might hit your heart that you might also want to consume and support. I'm sharing this. I thought this was like prime after having our election yesterday. Volunteering is the ultimate exercise in democracy. You vote in elections once a year, but when you volunteer, you vote every day about the kind of community you want to live in. And so whether your results were what you wanted to see this morning on the polls, at the end of the day, that doesn't matter because we're going to continue to go do what we do every day. And so whenever people ask me, I'm going to refer back to Alan. I was asking, whenever I come and talk to a group, I always say, why are you here? What led you here? What was your nudge? And so I'm going to show you this lovely picture. I will take you back to 1979. This is probably my first nudge on giving back to the community and finding out the significance of what one person can do. This is the last picture I have with my 4 brothers. My youngest brother died of a cancerous brain tumor 3 months later. And as you can imagine, it devastated my family. It took us all down. And I realized you can either do one of 2 things. You can either stay down and have a broken heart forever, which I think my parents did for a long time. That probably, I still do. It's been 40 some years. Or you can do something about it. And so I'm from Pittsburgh, and Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh had a sunroof. It was all blacktop. It was a place to go, but there wasn't anything to it. And so my parents clearly had a lot of time on their hands and they wanted to stay busy. So they went out to the community and found people that were wanting to help them create a place that families could go to at Children's Hospital that would be something more than just blacktop. So they donated their time, but they went out to people and found people that had money. And to me, anybody that says that they don't want your money, can I be standing next to you? Because I'll find a purpose and a place for it. So they found people that had money. And then they went out and they found people that had skills. They reached out to our technical school. They worked with our arts colleges to create benches and planters and to do somebody I think flipped offline, to do other things, painting and this, that, and the other. And then there's your stuff. Everybody has stuff. We found that after the pandemic. We had loads of stuff. I had loads and loads of stuff in my garage. But that stuff, they found people that would donate wood, paint, this, that, and the other. And at the end, that built a community. My brother's death brought thousands and thousands of people together and continued to allow other families that had gone through a very similar process or just happened to be in the hospital, a place to go, a place of reprieve. So at the age of 14, you can do the math, I learned about community and the impact. These are my 4 daughters. They're remarkable women. They are all adults. And my next nudge about giving back was, we live in Dublin. My kids went to Chapman Elementary. And my oldest daughter, when she was in 1st grade, kept coming home from school hungry. And I was like, how are you coming home from school hungry? I pack your lunch. And so after about a week of coming home hungry, I asked her, I said, what's going on? And she said, well, there's a little boy that sits across from me. Remember, this is the 90s. He has 2 pieces of white bread, a piece of cheese, and fruit cocktail. And he's always hungry and he looks at my lunch. And so I've been sharing it with him, Mom. And so first I want to pat myself on the back because I have a great kid that recognized somebody else. But I asked her, I said, well, what should we do? And she said, can I make and bring extra sandwiches in my lunch? And so for all 4 of my daughters, every day, my kids never bought lunch. I always packed. We always packed something else. So that another child, regardless of whether they were on free and reduced lunch, or if there was a field trip, when we had field trips, that they could have a lunch because their parent forgot that they needed to pack a lunch. So it also, we recognize that in a community, you can't decide who needs what. If you're in the whole way. And so my family's been in the whole way. We volunteer with the Homeless Families Foundation. I served at Holy Family Soup Kitchen for years. They just closed down during the pandemic. It broke my heart. But I'd be down there every Friday serving on their soup line. I've participated with Open Shelter and those kinds of things. But it was a matter of finding community, and that sometimes you broke the rules that weren't really rules. We didn't have the backpack, I don't even know what it's called, food in a backpack, blessings in a backpack, where the kids now at different schools, they can have weekend food and that kind of stuff. We were kind of rebels back then. We were doing it without having a name or a title. But once again, I think the best part about giving back is when nobody knows what you're doing. And that's the best giving back. So I do a lot of crazy stuff. I had a backyard neighbor who had said that there was a food pantry in the Smoky Row area that was a non-Mid-Ohio food pantry, that they needed somebody to grab bread and desserts from our local Kroger's. I drive a Denali XL. My Denali XL can hold a bunch of boxes, so I started doing some of that for them. I now, every Wednesday, I actually just did a food run before I came here, ran home, changed. I will then run back home so I could finish my run for them. But I get everything in that grocery store. I get everything from produce, flowers, meat department, dairy, deli, bakery, all of it. And this afternoon at Help My Neighbor, if you don't know about Help My Neighbor, they're a non-Mid-Ohio food pantry. Anybody can go there. So if you find a family that needs something, you can reach out to them and they can qualify. They just need to show up. And people will say, well, they showed up. How about if they didn't need it? Once again, if you showed up at the door, you must need it. And once again, how am I supposed to judge? Because to me, I try every day not to judge. You never know somebody's circumstance. I know a lot of people that are living in their cars downtown. They're beautiful cars, but they don't have a shower or a toilet or a closet or a kitchen. That's their house. And it's the last thing they had before they were on the run for a place to stay. I also started a clothing closet at Reeve Avenue. Reeve Avenue, if you don't know about Reeve Avenue, they have 14 different agencies that are there. And people were coming in there and they were digging through the bags for clothes. And I was like, where's the dignity in that? To me, I believe that there should be dignity and respect on all levels. Even if you disagree, there's a proper way to disagree, to agree. So I started a clothing closet for them. It started in the closet, ended up in a room. We have everything from size 0 to size 5XL for women and size 28 to size 54 for men. Everything's free. It's a hand up, not a handout. People can't go in there like a free store. We work on sizing the men for their suits. We get the shoes for the women, accessories, that kind of thing. I also do a food rescue because I have a Denali XL. I really should have a 2-seater because I'm a retired speech pathologist. I practiced for 35 years, but I'm retired. So it's me and my husband, and I'm still driving a Denali XL because I can do food rescue. And so when I got the call that we had gallons and gallons of milk going out into our city last year, 4 gallons would go to anybody over the age of 65 and over every week. I don't know how anybody, when I was a family of 6, we could go through 4 gallons of milk every week, but there's no way my husband and I could go through 4 gallons of milk every week. So instead of pitching it, we broke the rules. We made sure everybody that needed milk and was the qualifier did it, and we got the A-OK that we could go ahead and get it elsewhere. And then because everybody kind of knows who I am around our area, people you'll see on Facebook, ask Kath Jackson. My Facebook page says Kath Jackson. You have to know me to know to get there. I go by Kathy, but I was like kind of cautious about Facebook. People will contact me and say, hey, I have a woman that makes baskets for babies. And so I connect them to all the different people throughout the city. But I was not here to talk about all of that, but I hope maybe something clicked for you. I'm here to talk about I support the girls. A number of years ago in 2017, I was with a group called Girls Doing Good. We would go out into the community, would do things. Nobody knew we were doing them. We just made them and had them get done. And a friend of a friend had said, I have a friend who is the affiliate director for the Columbus organization, I Support the Girls, and she needs help with doing some stuff. And so Melissa Foster called me and asked if our Girls Doing Good group could come help them. And I said, well, you got to give me some more information. I'm sure we'll help you. But so I Support the Girls is an international organization. It was started in 2015 by a woman named Dana Marlowe, who had lost weight and needed to get fitted for new bras. Walked into a Soma store, asked, what can I do with my bra? And the woman said, hey, take them down to a shelter because they don't have them in shelters and at pantries and at clothing stores. So Dana went down to her local shelter, asked around, found out that the bras they were getting had holes, wires out. If you wear one, you know that's not a correct thing. If you don't wear one, you love somebody that does, you know it's not a correct thing. So she wanted to go do something. And she asked them, what else, are you needing? And they said, well, we need underwear. And somebody said, well, we have underwear. And they're like, well, they're all used. There's no dignity in that. I have really good friends. I have 4 daughters. My daughters don't even wear their sister's underwear. I can't imagine wearing some stranger's underwear. So Dana thought, okay, is there anything else? Well, as women, we're built a little differently. And they said, well, we don't get tampons and pads. And she said, you got a pantry here. Well, guess what, folks? There's a thing called pink tax, and tampons and pads are considered a luxury. So you will not find tampons and pads in a pantry unless somebody has donated it. Now, in the state of Ohio, in 2019, our governor passed the pink tax. So we now will be able to find them in our pantries, but it's probably going to take about 10 years for that collectively to come down, that it becomes as common as toilet paper and paper towels and wipes. Most states, Michigan still has a pink tax, and they're still fighting to get it, that it would be common, that you would find it. It's a necessity. It is not, I don't care, ask any woman you know, it is not a luxury. So anyhow, our group went, and Dana then went and said, well, if we need this in Baltimore, Maryland, I wonder if other states have the same issue. So she put it out on Facebook, and a couple of people took the bite on it, and they said, well, if you want to start your own, let's all start making groups that will go and talk to people about what the needs are and what the lack there is of. So Melissa Foster started the Columbus I Support the Girls in 2017, found our group. And so our group went and sorted bras, underwear, tampons, and pads. And I didn't think much of it because whenever I'm at a shelter or safe house, if you look at my car right now, there's probably a couple loose tampons or pads. I always have them with me because there's a woman somewhere along the line that needs one. And so it'll always be there, although I don't need them anymore at my age, but somebody else will. And so I was like, this is a great idea. And so I was helping her feed different places. She went to Huckleberry House, Star House, Open Shelter, Faith Mission. And then I got a call in 2018, and she said, I want to have lunch with you. It was like, if you need us to sort, we'll sort. We don't have to have lunch. And she said, no, I want you to take over. And I said, no. And she said, well, yes. And I said, why would I do this? And she said, well, you already go down there. You know everybody, you know Kid Vital at Open Shelter, and you know all these people. Why are you saying no? And I'm thinking, I already do all this other stuff. And then I thought, wait a minute. I'm a woman. I have 4 daughters, and I believe in dignity and respect. And maybe I can do something a little bit more. So in 2018, I said yes in September. I broke my ankle, tore all my tendons and ligaments, and I sat on the couch for 3 months. It gave me a lot of time to go and make connections with some of the people I knew downtown and in our local community. And so in 2017, there were 5 agencies that we supported. In 2021, I have over 50 agencies that I connect with. Those agencies aren't all the ones that you would know. I go out into the streets. I work with our sheriff's department. I work with Dublin Police Department. I work with our local food pantries. There's probably, I get phone calls. I actually, as I was coming here, got a phone call from our Dublin Police that they want me to have a conversation with somebody because I'm out there. And in 2019, we donated over 150,000 products. And how do I know that? I have to count every single bra, underwear, tampon, and pad. And I register it, and I put every single agency that I support in a spreadsheet, so that anytime anything is donated, everybody knows that it comes to me. So if I go on a vacation, it's not because I sold bras, underwear, tampons, and pads. But in 2020, we donated over 227,000 items. So when our city was locked down, when nobody was going down 315, I won't let you know, but I was going about 75 miles an hour. I was going in back doors and meeting people where they needed to be. And so our agencies that we help, I'm downtown at Columbus Public. I'm at Fort Hayes High School. That school is a school that gets kids from all over. So the teachers there can't just say, oh, go to the Worthington food pantry. Well, because this kid's from the other end of town. And so they started a program called the Fortifying Our Resources Together. So we help them with those supplies. We also have done things with moms to be. I believe in dignity and respect. I have a really hard time that if someone's digging through a bag and they're looking for a size 34B bra, and they've dug through the whole bag and it's not there, that they then will take a 34 double D, which will not fit or do what needs to be done. So everything that I do is sized by band and cup size. It is all labeled. And most of the things that we put together are in bins. Whenever I go to places, I will actually have shopping bags, like the little gift bags, and tissue paper. So when the women come through and they can select what they would want that would fit them, we measure them, we give them the same experience they would get as if they were in a department store. This is all volunteer. I don't make a single penny on this, but the impact that I've seen over the years is just unbelievable. Like I said, I've been at Star House, I'm with the Muslim community, I'm at St. Stephen's, and I do a lot of street work and everything. And I meet a lot of very interesting people. And so the one story that hit me the most was in 2019, when I was doing a street outreach with a group called Make a Day. And we were at Brewdog parking lot on High Street. And we had all kinds of food. We had a clothing truck, a food truck. We had people cutting hair. I brought all kinds of stuff. And the people were coming and we were handing out all kinds of stuff. And I didn't think much of it. And then we did it again in June. And then we did it again in August. And in August, a woman came up to me and she said, I've been looking for you. And I was like, okay, if you've ever been on the streets, you know that's either good or bad. You're shaking your head going, oh yeah, it's either good or bad. And I was like, you do? She goes, I have something. She goes, you're the pocket angel lady, right? I'm like, yeah, that's me. And she said, I need to tell you that you changed my life. And I'm like, okay, how did I, a bra lady, change your life? And so she told me that that day in April, when she was walking down the street, that she had actually been released from prison 6 months prior on drug charges. And she had done her time. And she was having a hard time finding a job. No one was hiring her. And she was heading down the street to go find a drug dealer. She figured that maybe, just maybe, she could deal, but not use this time. And we stopped her and we loaded her up with a bunch of stuff. So she had to go back to her apartment before she could head back down to the dealer. But before she did that, she found in the bag my pocket angel and a bra that said, you are important. And she said she stopped and she started crying and she didn't go down. And she then called her parole officer and told him what she was going to do and that she had made a choice, that she was going to try twice as hard. And in August, she came down to find me to tell me that she had a real job. She was working and she was helping to get her kid back. Now, folks, to me, it's a bra. I have a bunch of them in my closet. To this woman, it was life-changing. And so when people say you do this all the time and you make no money and your garage looks like my husband's eyes roll every time a drop off is made, I now have a 10 by 30 storage unit that I pay $270 for every month so that my husband will stay married to me because I really love the guy. But I found that it's more than just a bra. So what I'm doing now is I am with Beechcroft High School. They contacted me, and the Church of the Good Shepherd. The kids wanted to do a service above self. They went over there and they asked them, what's one thing that you don't have? And they said, we don't have bras and underwear. And their counselor went, oh, there's this lady in Columbus that does that. So she contacted me, and these kids, we went in and we talked to the kids about when you give with respect. I have a real hard time giving somebody a coat with a broken zipper unless I say, I have a coat, it's a broken zipper. If you want it, I can give it to you, but the zipper is broken, versus here's a coat and you find out there's a broken zipper. To me, there's a discourse and every level, it's a different need and a different thing. But for these kids, we talked about all the different layers and levels. And so we're partnering with them, and they're gonna do this whole project. Not only are they doing it, they're including their entire school and their community, because instead of doing it for just this year, they're hoping to continue a legacy that the Church of the Good Shepherd, those folks in that community, instead of coming to me to get bras together, if they need more, I'm happy to get them whatever I can get them, but they can continue that service. And that's a legacy for these kids. Last year, I wrote a PAD grant. It was the smartest and dumbest thing I've ever done in my life. We were in COVID and everybody was home and everybody was reorganizing. And so all of you guys were putting new plastic shelving and drawers. I couldn't get them because everybody else was buying them. But I had written a grant that I could have 4 agencies where I could provide drawers that were sorted the way that it would work for them. So my Moms to Be group included nursing bras. My free store, I had mastectomy bras and sports bras. My Help My Neighbor had training bras. And then my Reeve Avenue had everything. We had just about every size bra that you could possibly have, that it would work for them. But more importantly, my grant included, I partnered with the James Cancer and their mobile mammogram unit. And they now will go out and I can make a phone call to Alicia or one of the and see if we can't set up to have some of these women, because our populations are, especially our African-American population and women, are so underserved, especially with breast health care. But the thing is breast health care isn't just for women. My good friend just posted on Facebook about 2 weeks ago that her husband was 21 years post. Breast cancer happens to men too. So we were able to go out into our communities and talk about breast health care too, that the importance of it, not just for women, but for all people. And to me, that is a big, big spin on just a bra. And I get to hang out with the Sheriff's Department. I hang out with the Hope Task Force and Human Trafficking. I'm actually going down, I was talking to Alan, I'm actually going down November 13th to Lincoln Village. They're gonna hand out turkeys and toys, and I'm gonna hang out stuff for the Tatas. Just a bad joke. But I'll have razors and shampoo and all that, because I collect all of it. And whatever I can gift anybody, whether it's travel size shampoo or toothbrushes or the free makeup you get or the free makeup bags or whatever it is, those are the things that we hand out. And then the last thing, whenever I talk to groups, I was talking to the Professional Women in Building Council the other day, and we were talking about, I support the girls and everything. And I was like, hey, wait a minute. You guys like have access to some supplies. I have a family where the woman has been working diligently, has taken on her 2 grandchildren, and she had family come live with her during COVID, and they ruined her house. They put holes in her wall, they broke her door. And so I don't care what these women are gonna do for I Support the Girls, guess what they're doing for me next month? They're going and repairing a house. So at the end of the day, whether it's a bra, whether it's food, whether it's clothing, it's about making connections. So I thank you for your time today. Most of you aren't wearing bras today. So I know it's kind of like, what are we talking about? But I hope that at some point, like you have a question about something, whether it's another agency, whether it's about I Support the Girls. If you ever thought that you're like, hey, I've got bras sitting in my drawer, you can have them. I'll take them. We take new and gently worn bras, new underwear, tampons, pads. I also take travel size shampoo. If you're a dentist and you got toothbrushes, or your dentist gives you a toothbrush and you don't like it, or in my case, mine gives me the floss I don't like, so I have to buy my own floss. I'll take all those things because I'll find a home for it and such. And so I thank you for your time. I appreciate it. I feel like I'm preaching to the choir whenever I come up and talk, but I do appreciate your service to our community and for allowing me to share my story. Pantry, I never knew about that. So 7260 Smoky Row. It's in the the Smoky Row Brethren Church. It's right across from St. Peter's. So St. Peter's Church is the big church on the one side, and they're on the east side of the road, if I'm doing directional right. They're in a little gray. They're open every Wednesday afternoon from 3:30 to 6, and then on Saturday morning, 6 o'clock in the morning till 10. But people can come in and shop if they talk to Anna. The flip about Anna cleans homes. She's not a multimillionaire, and her husband works on heating and cooling. Like, they're not multimillionaires running this. They went and said, we have a community that needs fed, and there's a bunch of people that fall between the cracks. And if you ever go to Trader Joe's and look on the wall, Dublin Food Pantry and Help My Neighbor are two of the agencies that they help. Yes, sir.
I'm trying to reconcile your comment about, are the underwear and underclothing used from people? Because you talked about your daughters wouldn't wear each other's, and I'm trying to reconcile.
So we will take new and gently worn bras, but we will not take new one, or we will not take used underwear. So underwear, completely different than a bra. And a lot of agencies will take them. A lot of people will donate their bras to me, and they have to go through my wash. And I don't know you, but I really don't want your underwear in my washing machine. But I also get the fact, I mean, we're.
I thought bras were underwear. That's
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, no, sorry. Panties, sorry. My misunderstanding.
Underpants.
Underpants, yes.
You need some
Yes.
pictures, Alan?
Yeah.
I haven't been looking at magazines
Yeah.
lately.
And so I will say, a really good friend of mine,
You need to change your PowerPoint for Alan.
for Alan to see
Yes.
this. I have a friend that's like 86, 87 years old, and she will like sort underwear that's donated. And I brought some stuff today if anybody wants to stay and sort. If you don't, no big deal either. La Senza, the Sexy Bra Company here in Columbus, gives me all of their samples and everything. We get everything from what my friend Cookie says, not my granddaughter's underwear, which looks like dental floss, to I could like be, mucklucked in some of the underwear. And the thing is people, whenever I first meet the ladies and we're talking about bras and underwear, they're okay with telling me about the bra, but nobody wants to tell me what kind of underwear they wear. And I'm like, if I were to guess, even for your gentlemen, I couldn't guess if you're in boxers, briefs, if you're commando. And to me, it really doesn't matter. It's what do you need? At the end of the day, what do you need? What can I help you with? Because bras aren't cheap. They're $15 on the cheap end. And we have some women in our city. I mean, I had to find a 54K. So we're talking Dolly Parton.
Jolly window.
Yeah, exactly. You want to make that one. And so, but those are very hard, and so whenever I get donations or someone's like, I have a really good friend that's like, hey, I want to buy those two women their bras. And they're going to run, they each were $138 a bra. I gave these women those bras that you thought that they just won the lottery. They're walking around going, looky. And I'm like, how do you feel? They're like, I've never felt so good in my life. And then people look at them and they're like, you're not all hanging out. Well, most of the time, women aren't hanging out because, I mean, sometimes we're hanging out for another reason, but most of the time, we're wanting everything to be where it's supposed to be. And that's where my whole thing is about the dignity and respect, that I would like a woman to feel comfortable. If she wants to hang out, let her hang out. But most of the time, whenever I end up getting a woman a bra, they always come back and they go, thank you. You've brought me dignity and you've empowered me. And I think that's not a bad thing.
You know, I just want to make mention to our new members that are with us. This is just an example of you never know what you're going to learn at a Rotary Club meeting. And it's all about community service too.
It is. And at the end of the day, it's what's your service. I mean, that's what I always say. And so when people go, oh, what do you do? I'm a speech pathologist. I retired. I do free speech therapy at Southside Early Learning Center every Tuesday. I go down, those kids don't have much of anything. The costs for services are astronomical. And so I spend my Tuesdays doing free speech therapy. I don't have to bill an insurance company. I don't have to fight with anybody. I can go just do and make a difference. The other stuff is just stuff I like to do because scrubbing toilets and tubs does not bring me joy. It has to happen, but it doesn't bring me joy. And my husband's working. So I'm like, my kids are grown. What am I gonna do? Like my best friend lives in Florida and the other one lives in Millersport. So I can't go to lunch every day. So why not do this?
I'll
So,
have lunch with you.
You'll do lunch with me? Okay. Bring a bra, bring a bra. Yes, sir.
If someone wants to help you, is there a phone number?
I've got business cards and I can give you my email address if you want. I have a lot of high school kids that will contact me. I mean, Worthington, Kilbourne had contacted me. A lot of it doesn't even have to be done together. I bring boxes, I drop them off at somebody's house. I give them all the stuff they need to do to sort. I always ask to take the price tags off of our items just because we will find them going back. And License is always like, oh, no one will bring them back. And I'm like, yeah, they will. So let's not make that an issue for your staff. Like your staff doesn't have to deal with that. Let's gift this and let them have it. But yeah, we drop off. I've got right now in my storage unit, I have probably 20 boxes of bras and underwear, probably other. And if you talk to the sheriff's department, they're always like, the strip clubs. And I'm like, I know, but if we can get them out, then we're gonna get them out one way or another and such. And sometimes the swanky things make it.
I just want to make a suggestion. I don't know if you're all Kohl's members or anything like that. Sometimes you get your, $20 card or gift card or something like that. You don't know what to use it. Buy stuff, send it to her. I got some stuff in my car for you. That's what I did. I didn't need it. So a Kohl's cash. So that's one way of giving back and not, spending money.
And you'll probably put that phone number in
I will
the
do this in the
newsletter,
newsletter.
right?
Yes, sir. Yes. I will get her some stuff. Go ahead.
What is the most difficult item to get, or the one in the most need?
So most needed is underwear because undies, undies. Yeah, they're really hard because like I said, I have a bunch of bras and I get a bra and I'm like, I don't like it anymore. So for me, giving a used bra, no big deal, but you have to purchase underwear.
Yes.
And the city of Columbus prefers pads. And the sad part about that is I found that the reason why they ask for pads is because they will wash them and reuse them, which breaks my heart. I'm like, there's period underwear, there's those kinds of things, but pads are the second. So if there's a woman that's around, she's like, do you have underwear? Do you have pads? That would be the top two things that I have. But like I said, if you're traveling, which I know we haven't, and then we do, when you swipe all those shampoos and conditioners, we go down to Star House. I mean, I'm at Faith Mission. I do Choices. I'm at Love, that is a local outreach volunteer. Out of Darkness, Reaching for the Shining Stars, Impact, the Bridge Community. I mean, the list goes on and on with people. And now people will actually just text me. I mean, like I said, my phone's been dinging as I've been here. Tiffany needs a 38D and 2 34Cs at the free store at Parsons. They just will now go, hey, when you get this, can you put it aside for me? And so I do special delivery because I downtown almost every week. So go and do that. Jim from Dublin Food Pantry, he texts and says, hey, I need pads, tampons or whatever. So, you know, if I have it, to me, it shouldn't be sitting in a storage unit. It should be out there. Many of the things that are sitting in my storage unit are 34B bras because that's our big thing that we get from La Senza. It's the standard size for sizing bras. I don't know too many women that wear 34B. Most of them are in middle school. But I saw middle schoolers. I mean, I'm at Ames Middle School. So if the Ames Middle School kids all want 34B, have at it. Like here, have a party and such. But yeah, I would say underwear and pads for a long answer.
Sure.
And a room afterwards and help her. She brought 2 large boxes to help sort. That would be fantastic. More hands, the better. That way we would get it done quicker.
Fantastic. Thank you again, Kathy, for presenting to us. As I sat here and listened to your presentation, I found myself, inspired again. And we as a Rotary Club have been lucky to have a lot of people come through and inspire us lately. And it made me think, we've got these people coming in that are making these huge impacts by themselves out of their house, and have built these kind of like charity empires. And so it makes me want to reflect on what I'm doing as an individual and what we are doing as a club to make an impact. So I challenge you all to reflect on that a little bit. Okay, now our speaker next week will be Doug. And he's going to talk to us. The name of his presentation is called Cheap Natural Gas, Gone for Good. He's going to tell us the answer. So I think it'll be thought-provoking, as Doug's talks usually are. So make sure you don't miss it. And before we wrap up, we have a raffle, right, Court?
We do, George, take it over. And the last 3 numbers are 999. There it is, right there.
Come
999.
Right there, Courtney.
The guy that pulled his own ticket?
No, it's Jim.
Oh, Jim, okay, good. I was gonna say, might be suspicious.
And for the big plan, $210.
Whoa.
210.
You need to pick another one. I'll pick yours. Let's see, the last 3 numbers are 003.
003.
It's $210. You're kidding. Okay.
My strange. Hey, you, George. Get up here. What are you doing?
Oh, he's got to do it.
George, you should know.
It's just to get a card. What am I looking for?
Ace of spades. Got the 4 diamonds. No good. All righty. It is 1:02. I guess now we're ready for the 4-way test. If you would all stand, I guess I need to open it first. It's just part of my routine. I've become very much a creature of habit. So we got to get it all on for the Zoom people. All right, here we go. The things we think, say, and do. First, is it true? Second,
To all concerned,
third, will it build goodwill and
better friendships.
And fourth, will it be beneficial
To all concerned.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great week. We are adjourned.
Thanks, mister.
You know,